Hey guys, this is Mark from TRADEPRO Academy, and in this weekend's video, I'm going to show you how to use Evernote as a trading journal. So let's get at it. Now, before we switch over to Evernote, I just want to stress the importance of keeping a trading journal. Personally, I don't know of a single trader that doesn't keep a journal. Think of it this way. All businesses must keep records. If you plan on being successful in this industry, keeping a journal is an absolutely crucial task. The purpose behind keeping a journal is to be able to objectively track your performance, stay focused, and optimize your strategy. At the end of the day, if you don't measure it, there's no way to master it. So with that in mind, let's switch over to Evernote and I'll show you how I personally journal my trades at the end of each daily session. All right, traders. So here we are with Evernote open. Evernote is a great resource. It does offer a free plan, which I highly suggest you guys take advantage of. There are some limitations with the free plan. However, you do get a 60 megabyte upload limit each month, which should suffice for most traders. If you find that you are hitting the limits, you can always upgrade. But for our purposes, we will just assume that you will be using the free account feature. Now, as you can see in front of you, I've got several notebooks already, but I'm going to walk you through setting it up and how I personally do this for my trades. So first thing you want to do is you want to click on new notebook and create a name here. So we will call this Trading Journal 2019 Test. So there's the Trading Journal 2019 Test. And now what we're going to do is if we want to add a new note, we'll click on a new note here and we want to make sure that it goes into this notebook. One of the benefits here is that you can add tags. So this can be dates, this can be months, this could be strategies, whether it was longs or shorts. It could be a whole number of things to keep you organized. Myself personally, I just like to tag it for the month. So we're in January here, January 2019. The next thing that I like to do for the titles, I like to do it on a session by session basis. Since we day trade futures primarily, every single day I'm going to have a journal. For ease of tracking, I will just write in the date that I will be journaling in, which was January 17th, 2019. Now you may be wondering what type of information should be recorded. What we generally like to record is the asset that we traded, the lot size that we used, whether we went long or short, and which strategy we used, the entry price, the exit price, the time and date of the entry, as well as screenshots of the actual trades, notes with regards to why we took the trades. And finally, we like to grade ourselves at the end of the day. So how did the session go? How do we feel we traded? And we grade ourselves from an A to a D. So on the 17th, I personally took 3 trades, one in the ES 500 futures and 2 trades in the crude oil futures. So let's jump onto my Sierra chart platform to grab the screenshots of those trades and I'll show you how I build out my journal for the day. Okay, traders, so here we are on the Sierra chart platform. What you see in front of you is the crude oil futures. I trade off of these 3 charts. The left-hand side is a 10-tick range chart. This one is a 5-tick range chart. And the chart at the bottom here is a 5-tick footprint reversal chart. What I like to do to grab my screenshots is to expand the chart. I've got my order fills here, so I know where I've got my positions. Sierra Charts is good in the sense that it allows you to grab a copy of the chart image directly from the platform and paste that into Evernote. If your platform does not have this feature, you can simply use the snipping tool down here to grab that screenshot and paste it in the Evernote. So what I'm gonna do now is take the screenshots of all 3 charts for both of the instruments that I traded on the day, put them into Evernote, and then we'll go from there. All right, traders, so we're back on the Evernote screen here. And what you see that I've done is pasted the screenshots of the trades I took on the 17th into the note. I've identified them here by the chart individually and the asset that I traded. So CL stands for the crude light futures. I've got the 10-tick chart, the 5-tick chart, and the footprint charts. I got 2 here, one for the long position I took and one for the short position I took. I've also got the charts of the S&P 500 futures, also known as the SPOOs in the industry. We've got the 10-tick, the 5-tick, and the footprint as well. So my next step here is to take the notes from my journal and put them onto this note. What I mean by that is that every single session, I like to have a pen and a notepad handy throughout the session to jot down any notes, jot down how I'm feeling, jot down what I think is happening in the market, as well as any potential trade ideas, what I'm seeing, and qualifications that I use to get into the trade. So after the session, I'll take the notes from my notepad and put them into the Evernote note so that I can have a good idea of what I was thinking at the time I took the trade, what I used to qualify the trade, and simply to reflect on where I can optimize my strategy. So what I do now is scroll down to my footprint charts, and under the charts of the trades, I like to input the particulars of the trades, such as the lot size, whether I went long or short, the strategy that I used, the entry price, the exit price, as well as the time that I initiated the trades. What I'll also put under each of these is any notes that I had in my pad, such as emotions I felt, what I used to qualify the trade, and what I was seeing at the time I took the trade. And then at the bottom, we will do the grading. So let me fill this out for you and I'll show you the next step. Okay, traders, so here we are back on the Evernote. I've gone ahead and transcribed all of my notes from my notepad into the journal, and I'll show you what that looks like now. Initially, I had the crude futures charts up top. However, I did take the SPOOS trade first in the day, so I've just moved those charts up to reflect that. So if I scroll down here to the SPOOS footprint chart, under the footprint chart, I've gone ahead and annotated the picture itself. Simple to do. You can right click, annotate this image, and you can add and delete any of these lines, arrows, text, whatever you want to help drive the point. So let me close that up here. What you'll see under the chart is I've got the trade number, the type of trade I took, it was a long, the strategy I used, which was a breakout, the time of the trade, the position size, the entry price, the exit price, as well as the final result. Under this, you'll see the notes. So in the notes section, I transcribed what I saw throughout the day, what led me to take this trade, the qualifiers that I used, as well as the disqualifiers I used to get out of the trades. Under this, you'll see the takeaways. So the takeaways is what I look to improve on, what I like that I did, what I don't like that I did, and what I can use to optimize my strategy moving forward. You've got a little bit of blurb here. In this case, what happened was I was looking to take a trade long on a retest of this level. I was looking for a buy imbalance to come in and to set a limit back around that level. Unfortunately for me, I chased that entry and I bought up a little bit too high and scratched the trade for 3 ticks before it ended up going into profit. So in the takeaways, I wrote to myself that the psychology was a bit off with this trade, and since it was my first trade of the day, I didn't want to eat the full stop. I was happy with how I qualified it as it was in a great location, but the execution was sloppy. So little things like this will help you determine where you're making mistakes in your execution so that going forward, you can eliminate those mistakes and fine tune your performance. Scrolling down here, we've got the CL charts. So I had 2 trades on this one as well. You can see the second trade was a long trade using the breakout strategy again. 10:34 a.m., 1 lot, entry price was 51.94, exit was 51.87, and the result was a loss of 7 ticks. So again, here you see I got the notes that I moved from the notebook into this notepad, put down what got me into the trade, what I was seeing at the time, as well as the emotions I was feeling, again, followed by the takeaways for that trade. In this case, I followed my plan and I kept the risk tight. Once I saw offers starting to step in, I disqualified the trade and I tightened my stop loss below the VWAP here, because it was looking like the sellers were stepping in. That's exactly what happened. And instead of eating a full stop of 9 ticks, I reduced that to 7 ticks. So again here, I reduced once I saw the offers moving down the DOM. The overall sentiment was bearish based on the 10-tick chart. As you can see here, we were making lower lows and lower highs, and this was essentially a pullback within the larger trend. So that's something that I wrote as a takeaway, as this was not the best idea for a long trade. However, I followed my plan and kept the risk tight, so I'm happy with the result. The final trade I took was a short trade. This was shortly after getting stopped out of the initial position. I flipped my bias, I saw the offers moving lower, and I stepped on the bid here for a move back down to the open. This time the trade did play out and I made those notes here. However, if you focus on the takeaways, I wrote that I was happy with how I was able to keep cool and flip the bias on a dime. I'm happy with how I qualified the entry, but I could have been more patient with the trade as it ended up dropping another 30 cents from my entry. What happened here was that the offers were moving lower, indicating that the sellers were in control of the market and downside momentum was coming in. However, Because I was down for the day, my first 2 trades were losers, I was happy to take profit and get myself back in the green instead of riding out the winners. So you'll see here, I wrote to myself, be more patient with winners. Now at the bottom of the journal, what you should do every single day is record the final results. So here I have -3 ticks on SPOOs and +6 tick on CL. And the final thing you should do with the journal is to give yourself a grade for the day. So as I mentioned earlier, we like to grade ourselves from A to D. In this case, I gave myself a B and I explained why I graded myself that way. I was a bit impatient with my positions once I qualified them. I scratched myself out of a winner, but I also scratched myself out of a full stop. And I was happy with how I came back after the losers and got back to green on the 3rd trade. And here I wrote, what I have to continue to focus on is focusing on each trade individually instead of focusing on the last trade and what profits you can make on this one. I took profit a bit too quick because I wanted to get back to the green. If I focused on the setup itself instead of the need to get back to the green, I could have wrote out the winner and finished the day with even more profit instead of finishing near break even. All right, everyone. So that basically concludes the journaling process. What you've seen here is how I like to journal my trades on a daily basis. This is something that you should do on a daily basis as well after each session, is to sit down, throw in the screenshots of your charts, of your trades for the day, throw in your notes, throw in the takeaways, and give yourself a grade. This is a great habit to get into. And as mentioned in the beginning of the video, if you can't track it, you can't master it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys will implement a journal within Evernote. As you can see how easy it is and that it's free. If you did enjoy this video, please do us a big favor and subscribe to the channel, as well as share this with a friend that you think might be interested in trading, as that will definitely help us out and help us continue to provide you guys with great value. So until next time, good luck and good trading. Take care.